and then you guys can do whatever you want to do with the information that I'm going to share with you right now. I have some very disturbing news to share with you right this minute. How's everybody doing today? If you would please, everybody hit the number 1 button. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I have very limited time. I have to go to the airport. So it would be best if I just played this out loud so that my blood pressure doesn't go up and I can just stay focused on the task at hand, which is to make sure that Deborah has some level of protection, because the only thing that works in today's society is transparency. There's nothing that works better than transparency. It's the number 1 thing. So hit the number 1 button. Let me know where you're watching from real quick. I'm gonna grab some water so my mouth is obviously chapped. 1 second. So good to see you, Witch on Fire. Good to see you guys. Nice to see you, Lonnie. How are you? Good to see everybody today. So I have some very disturbing news for you that I'm just gonna let the voicemail play. The UK's in the house. David, what's going on? Chevy, how are you? Good to see you guys. Good to see everybody. Thank you guys for coming by. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Rocco. How are you, buddy? April, how are you? Nice to see you. Golden State fan. How are you, sir? How are you? Jeffro, how are you? Arkansas, what's going on? So if imagine for a moment that you were challenging jurisdiction of a court, and so they held you in contempt for challenging jurisdiction of that court. And then what happened was you were put inside of the dungeon, and you are conscientiously objecting because it's only a misdemeanor charge that you're charged with. So it's not a felony, but you're consciously objecting to their jurisdiction over you. And so they put you in torture cuffs, shackle you, and then they drag you to their dungeon. Okay, so, and then you have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. So this is the phone call that I just had, and I'm gonna play it for you, and then we're gonna call this gentleman back. But I want you guys to listen to this, and then whatever you wanna do about it is whatever you wanna do about it. But the reason why we have this channel, the reason why the camera changes the game is because of the transparency. Yum, good to see you. Rick, Dan, good to see you. Hi, as Giraffe, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see everybody. Richard, it's good to see you. It is good to see. I saw that, Yum. So P-Rex, how are you? Thank you for all your support. God bless, man. It's a rough time for sure. Deborah's in the dungeon. So I want you to listen to this, and then we're gonna call this gentleman back. Dan?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I delivered a writ, I believe it's called habeas corpus.
Yeah.
To the federal building, the Eastern District over in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
One second. Where is it? 1 second. Let me grab this. Where is it? So frustrating. Okay, I'll just, can you guys hear this okay? Let me take the casing off of this so you guys can hear this okay. This is Deborah Rogers' contact. She just called him. They are thirsting her. She doesn't have any water.
Excuse me?
Did you film that?
No, I did not, no.
Right. Gotta film everything from now on. Gotta film it. You got a copy of that? You can film it?
Yeah.
Give me a 5x5.
Film that. What I just turned in. You can go back to the courthouse. I just turned this into the court. You should have a stamped document.
It does have a stamped document.
All right, you can make a video of it and send it to me, so that you can talk behind the camera if you want to. I just went over to this courthouse right here at this address, and I turned this in for Deborah to get her out of jail, and then I can publicize it, and that's our best weapon is publicity.
Listen.
And then she called
Listen.
earlier
Listen.
and said that she is severely dehydrating, but they're refusing to take her to the hospital.
Oh, really?
Yes, she was crying.
And she's saying that she's... What jail does she at? She's at the Tahlequah jail?
Cherokee County Detention Center, Tahlequah.
She's at the Cherokee County Detention Center in Tahlequah, and she doesn't have enough water, and she's saying she wants to go to the hospital?
Yeah, and they're refusing her medical attention. And as of maybe 2 hours ago, I don't know if they have an hour yet or not.
Okay. Okay. So, I'm sorry, let me look it up. It's called, repeat the name of that jail for me again, please.
Cherokee County Detention Center.
Cherokee County Detention Center. Okay. So there that is. Cherokee County Detention Center. Tahlequah. Cherokee County Jail. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just go ahead and put them a call here real quick.
Yeah.
You know, all my calls are recorded, so you know that already. Okay. Just want to move forward here. I mean, is she getting enough water? She's saying she's thirsty?
Yeah, she says she's dehydrated. In a lot of pain. She was crying when she called.
Cherokee County Detention Center?
Yeah.
My name is ChilleDeCastro. I have a popular YouTube channel called DeletelawZ. I'm giving a courtesy call here. I'm getting reports that RODGERS is being dehydrated and that she's asking for medical attention. Before I publicize this information, I wanted to double check with you and see if Deborah is crying and requesting medical attention and also wanting water, basic water. She wants some water. Have you guys given RODGERS some water? Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay.
Are you there?
Hold on one second. Okay, this is not how this works. Okay. And so she is at the Cherokee County Jail.
It's called the detention center.
When you look at detention, when you look it up online, what comes up is Cherokee County Jail.
Okay.
When you say the detention center?
Yeah, it's called CCDC. Everybody knows this in Tahlequah.
CCDC.
CCDC. You got to call the wrong numbers here. 918 Cherokee Detention Center. 918.
I can't give out the number, obviously. I'm not allowed to give out the number on YouTube. That's not what I'm allowed to do. Other people are welcome to do whatever they're going to do, but I can tell you that there is a woman who is sitting inside of the CCDC Tahlequah Detention Center who isn't being given water. She doesn't have any water. So if you could just imagine for a moment that you didn't have any water to drink, that right now, from this moment forward, you wouldn't be given any water, okay? That's why, you know, let me just, so that's why I just played this, because I don't want to get myself too excited here. I want to keep myself calm. I have to fly tonight. A friend of mine's going to loan me a car, so I need a car. I can't not get around, so, but there is a woman who's sitting in, and so I'm just going to let, it's just better if I just keep my calm, keep my composure. Don't let myself become emotional because I care about Deborah. and I give her friend back a call here.
This Martin.
Hey Marvin, this is Chille. How are you? I got you live with 250 people here listening, and
Well, I'm doing as good as I can right now.
And so, when we talked today, what was Deborah's state of mind like, and what was she going through as far as her physicalities?
I could tell she was in a lot of pain, and she was crying and said that she was she knew she was severely dehydrated, and they won't take her to the hospital. And but basically, she wanted to get the habeas corpus delivered, and she said, "Don't worry about me right now. Just try to find a way to get me out of here." She needed an attorney, and we're still looking for this at this point.
Right. And so she didn't have any water. She said she's in a lot of physical pain. Is that from the dehydration?
She has a lot of back problems too, and it could be a combination of both. But I said, well, if anything, Deb, I said, try to drink some water from the sink. She said, I can't. She says the lady that she's with or was in there put shit all over it.
All over the sink. There's poop all over the sink, is what you said, right?
I don't know. I don't know if she put shit on it like crap or dirt or whatever, but she's not drinking from it because it's sanitary.
Okay. So she doesn't. So there's feces on the apparatus where she would be able to get fresh water, and so because there's feces on it, she doesn't want to go and drink or put her hands and drink the bacteria infested water. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know at this point. Her word of shit could be just a bunch of dirt or something, or put her hands all over it, and she don't want to drink from the sink water. And I said, to get water, you might want to drink sink water, and that's her response to me.
Okay. So she deserves access to fresh water. Where is she again? I called it the CCDC. What was it called?
Cherokee County Detention Center in Tahlequah.
And she has asked to go to the hospital because she feels so poorly. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So she's in so much pain that she's saying, take me to the emergency room because I'm hurting. And then you went and filed a writ of habeas corpus today to get her out, correct?
To attempt to get her out. I mean, there's a procedure they follow before they can get her out with the habeas corpus.
Mm-hmm. But right now, we just have to worry about her general health and safety and her well-being. If she wants to go to the hospital and she's requesting going to the hospital because she's in severe pain and she's dehydrated, then maybe the Tahlequah jailers should take her to the hospital.
To my understanding is that Cherokee Nation Marshal, or if it was a Katuah tribe, they would have to come up there and transport her and sit with her while she's at the hospital.
Well, there's nothing wrong with someone sitting with her. I mean, she can be sat with. She's, there's ways to make sure that she's going to be secured at the hospital. But I think at this point, without any water to drink, that we have a serious danger.
Yeah, with sanitary water and sufficient water to be hydrated. No, that's true.
Mm-hmm. And we know, she needs basic sanitary conditions, and she needs to be able to drink water. And if the jail is not going to provide her the sanitary conditions and the water, then what is the process with the tribal courts and the tribal jails? Is it the same? We're going to file a writ of habeas corpus because I haven't been a part of any of the legal work. I've only watched it happen. I didn't help her fill out any of the motions or really do anything. She did it all herself. She became a machine. And so, I know the motion that I posted on DeletelawZ that she filed for the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma to hear her case. And so when they didn't hear her case, she decided to walk out of court. And I played our recording yesterday, Marvin. She decided to walk out of court protesting that they don't have jurisdiction. So Deborah took a stand. She put a stick in the mud and said, I'm not backing down. You don't have jurisdiction over me. So I didn't know she was going to do any of these things. She just made these decisions. So with that being, go ahead.
They they put her in without bond too, and then they had a I don't know the terminology. They're hearing the next day behind closed doors, and then they set her next hearing for next Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and it's going to be by phone too.
Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's going to be in 5 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So 6 days.
They're holding her without bond with misdemeanors.
They're holding her without bond for misdemeanors. Well, she walked out of the court, so they found her in contempt of court. I don't know if that's a felony in Cherokee Nation or not. But when she walked out of court and said, you don't have jurisdiction over me, I'm leaving if you won't hear my motion for a stay, then she challenged their jurisdiction. They found her in contempt of court for that. I just don't know what the laws are of the Cherokee Nation that would, is that a felony? You know, can they hold her without bond? How long can they hold her without bond? These are questions I don't know the answers to. It's not traditional American law, and I don't know court procedures very well anyway. I'm just learning this year, filing my first lawsuits this year. So it's a little bit of a learning curve and a process. So what do you know anything that I don't know? And have we tried the marshal service? Because the guy who is the head marshal was a pretty empathetic guy. Marvin?
Yeah, nobody's tried the marshal service or nothing at this point. I mean, it's just, I just can't believe they would treat a person like that. I know good and well that she's not guilty of any of it. And during the court hearing, the prosecuting attorney told the jury that she refused a blood test, and in the video, she looked straight at the camera and says, I want a blood test.
Right.
She says, I will submit to it. And while she's at the hospital, she said, yes, I want a blood test. And she was not able to write with her hand because the handcuffs were so tight. So the police officer wrote, refused.
Wow.
But she was wanting a blood test at the time, and now they're saying that she refused it. So I think at that point, when they were talking to the jury, I think she said that, I think she believed this is a no-win situation and decided to walk in out at that time.
You know, I don't know. I'm only speculating, but I'm speculating that she's challenging jurisdiction, that she wants her motion to be heard. That's on DeletelawZ.com at the bottom. You can see Deborah Rogers' motion. And I think she wants her motion to be heard. And if it's not going to be heard, then I think is that she's going to challenge jurisdiction completely and say, I'm just not going to be a part of this kangaroo court because I don't think the court's legitimate. That's what I think. I don't know. Marvin doesn't seem to know more than I do. He has his ideas too, right? Deborah is a pretty free radical, right? She's pretty, not a radical. She's her independent person. She's going to make her own decisions.
She'll stand up for her rights. And she will challenge anything that's like anybody. She wants to know the truth, and she doesn't want something that's not realistic. When she hears something, she wants to find out the truth better.
Right. And, you know, I think the most pressing thing is that she doesn't have any fresh water in that jail. And I think that all 300 people listening now should know that in the Tahlequah jail in Oklahoma, that Deborah's being dehydrated right now. She doesn't have access to fresh water, and she's requesting that they take her to the hospital because she feels so ill. That's what's going on right now. That's where Deborah Rogers is. She's in a jail cell. Go ahead.
Unless they decided to take her in the past 2.5 to 3 hours, but last I heard, she was severely dehydrated and she was crying and she was in a lot of pain.
Try to talk into your phone the best you can, my friend. I know it's, I heard what you said though. I think everybody heard it. He said that she's dehydrated, she's crying, she's in a lot of pain, and she's requested to be taken to the emergency room. So that's where we are right now. And the Tahlequah jail is having, when I called them, I played the recording a moment ago, they simply hung up on me. So, you know, I think that when someone is telling their partners and their friends and family on the outside that they're dehydrated and they're in a lot of pain and they're crying, What that is a call for justice. That's a call for help. That's one of our fellow human beings with the miracle that you're born, the miracle that your life exists, the miracle that every cell has multiple mitochondria in it is amazing. It's an amazing cellular system. You know, I was such a hardcore atheist until really not just the DMT, but when I became a scientific nutritional expert, when I watched thousands of hours of scientific nutrition, what I learned was that your body is this amazing machine, amazing mechanism. The building blocks of the human body go back to John Locke's, the morality of God. And so your body is such an amazing machine that it has to be a divine thing. So right now, though, there's two substances that your body absolutely needs more than any other substances, more than any. You know, obviously air, but then you have water and salt. You need air, you need hydrogen and oxygen, but then you need water and salt. You need those two things. And right now, DeBoraugh RODGERS, another miracle that's alive and walking on earth, is requesting that her family and friends get her water and salt and medical attention. So that's what I'm doing on the phone right now with you guys. When I got to get packed up and I got to fly away tonight because a buddy's going to loan me a car, I'm in the middle of packing. I had to throw this shirt on. I'm not even dressed. I had to throw on some sweats. I'm literally running around getting myself ready to go to the airport. So I can't listen, though, to Marvin call me on the phone and tell me DeBoraugh RODGERS is thirsting in a jail cell and asking the guards for water and then not say something about that, not take the time out of my day to show others what's happening to Deborah. You can hate her, you can hate me, the troll channels, all those guys watching, amazing. Thanks for coming. Another fellow human being is being thirsted. Thirsted. Is being thirsted. I said thirsted. Is being is thirsty. Any one of you, even people who hate my guts, that make videos about me and say horrific things about me, if you needed some water, I would fight for you to get some water. 100%. 100%. A cop, a police officer, if they came to my door and said, man, I'm thirsty, I need some water, let me get you a glass of water. It's another fellow human being that needs some water, and she's in a dungeon. They've locked her away in a dungeon, and she's asking for some water. This is a water fundraiser for DeBoraugh RODGERS, everybody. She's inside of a dungeon, and the dungeon masters won't give her basic water. So this is a fundraiser for water. We're raising the level of interest in another human being having something to drink. That's what we're doing here today. That's why I'm here. I'm on this phone and taking my time right now because someone needs some water. You know, Clash with Bao was in here earlier. Clash with Bao has one of the best trolls of a jailer that I have ever heard. I laughed so... Bao, I mean, someone could get that link. I laughed so hard at Clash with Bao's troll of a jail for Christy Roan. It was so funny, right? It was so hilarious. And so now we need some of these freedom fighters to be willing to fight for water. Fight for water for DeBoraugh RODGERS. You know, she participated on one of these horrible channels, and all those people, you know, tore her to shreds and said how she's this, she's that. Is she not a person who is worthy of water? Let me just leave that right there. Let me just park that on your front step and just ask you. Go ahead, Marvin. Go ahead, buddy. What do you want to say?
Yeah, she told me about how people talk bad about her. I've known her for 22 years, and she is not what they're portraying.
Talk on your phone, Marvin. I can't hear you very well. Can you talk clear into your phone, please, buddy?
Yes, I've known her for 20. I've known her for 22 years. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you a little better.
And what people are talking about her, and they're talking bad, and she is not what she's portrayed to be. She is a very caring person, and I'm her ex-husband, and anybody can say what they want, but I would know her better than anybody. She is not a drug addict. She is not an alcoholic. She always questions everything that she encounters. She's a very questionable person about everything she sees. She wasn't DUI. Everything that you've heard on YouTube and people that are talking bad about her, she is not that person. I've known Deborah a very long time, and she was helping me. I was in long-term wound care. I had a toe amputation. I'm diabetic, and I was in Oakmoggy. So she came back in Tahlequah, about 70 miles away, 2 hours away, and decided to stop at Taco Bell to get a Dr. Pepper. When she pulled out, they pulled her over, and then they roughed her up for no reason. And this is where this has come to about a year and a half later or so. She is not that person. And I have been behind her. I've been supporting her ever since. And a lot of people would not do that if they didn't think, if they did not know that person was in the right, or they needed to, I wanted to help them or help her because she's a very good person.
I know she is. I know it.
Yeah.
I know she is. I've spent a lot of time with her, talked to her on the phone a long time. I've been in contact with her since last year. We talk all the time on the phone. I record a lot of those conversations, and some were not recorded, but Deborah is a wonderful human being. She's and just to be clear, when she got pulled over and was charged with the DUI, what was she doing, Marvin?
She wasn't doing nothing. She was going out to our place. We both had places out here to check on them while I was in long-term wound care.
She was bringing you some food, I believe, right?
Yeah, she just brought me some food and went back to Tahlequah. And when she pulled out, that's when the police let her up. And then they said she left the center in a high rate of speed, and that's probably about 200 feet to the stoplight. I don't see how far you can go at a high rate of speed at 200 feet.
Right.
I believe they were just profiling her at the time.
Right.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Right. 2 o'clock in the morning. So they just pulled her over to see if she was drunk, and then just created that she was, even though she's speaking coherently and completely functional, challenging the theories of why she was pulled over, even the stance that she has to give her driver's license or not give her driver's license. She was just standing up for herself. And she was completely coherent in doing so, and then they attacked her, tased her, choked her, put her on the ground, torture cuffs, took her to the dungeon, and now they have her in the dungeon again, and now they won't give her water. They won't give her the basic necessity of water. And that's where, I have a light that I can shine and share with others. And so, this definitely, how funny, right? And I'm just going to say it out loud so I can just take a look at how small we are as people, right? Literally, I'm going to say what an inconvenience it is for me to have to stop what I'm doing to do this emergency broadcast, right? What an inconvenience it is for me, Marvin. But then in comparison to being locked in a dungeon and the people there won't give you water. It's like, this is what gets my blood pressure up and gets me just, you go back to what Hobbes said about the nature of man, how we're all so selfish and self-centered and egotistical. And believe me, I can relate to having the biggest ego, bigger than Manhattan. I understand that. But what I don't understand is the cruelty of humanity, where you would see someone in a cell and they're crying and saying, I need fresh water and I need to go to the hospital, and you would deny that person the basic necessity of water. That to me, and then when I compare it to my own self-centered, egotistical, brutish, being a human being, I think of how inconvenienced I am, right? In comparison to what Deborah is going through. And that's the nature of man. That's the nature of who we are. We are selfish, self-centered. We are. And even those of us who are not are still selfish and self-centered. Hobbes' philosophy on the nature of man and that the rule of law needs to be applied, I agree with. We're so selfish. I'm thinking about myself and my schedule, and I got to get my dog and all the things to the airport. And meanwhile, Deborah's thirsting in a cell.
Well, you know, whenever they put her in there, they're just doing the same thing to her without bond is like punishment. And it's a situation to where to me, it's like communism or a third world country, how you punish people.
Yeah, this is definitely punitive.
Because you upset somebody.
Yeah.
How would they like to be in that situation right now? How would they like their mother? How would they like their children to be in this situation at this time?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, on another note, whether I like it or not, there is a plane schedule, and I have to get on a plane because someone's loaning me a car so that because my rental insurance company will cover $20 a day if I rent from Hertz. They listed a bunch of car rental companies that are like $55 a day. So the answer is no. I'd rather buy the airline ticket and then have to drive the car back. And that's what I'm going to do. So I've got to get to the airport right now. So, but everybody, now you guys know what's going on with Deborah. We're going to be checking in again regularly to talk with Deborah's friend, ex-husband, Marvin. And I want everybody to understand where Deborah is right now and what she's going through. Just imagine you were in a dungeon and you couldn't get water and you were thirsting and you were crying to your family and friends that you needed medical attention. What would you want to happen for you? So, you know, Brian from High Impact Flicks, he always says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And that should be the universal law of all the lands everywhere. And I agree with that, 100%. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you were laying in a dungeon right now and you called your ex-husband and cried on the phone and said, I don't have fresh water and I need hospital care, how would you want society to react to you? That's my question. So everybody hit the like button. Make sure you do me a favor, take a second, share this video, share what your doing is, what your mission is, and the reason why you're doing it. We'll be checking in with Marvin again. I got to jump in an Uber and head to the airport. So God bless you guys. Dan, Greg, Deacene, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Dorf, DJ Smith, Gloria, thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for coming by. Marvin, anything else you want to say? I'll let you get the last word.
Well, I appreciate you putting it out there to let everybody know how she's being treated at this point. And it's very heartbreaking to me because she don't deserve this. And I feel partly responsible for having her come and bring me food when I was amputated and being diabetic, and she came back to Tahlequah to take care of stuff, and then she gets arrested on false charges by the Cherokee County and the Tahlequah City the police department, and has to put up with this to this date, and they're still trying to prosecute her upon false charges.
I know it. I know it. I know it. It's disgusting. You know, right now, number one concern, Deborah needs some water and Deborah needs medical attention. That's what she's requested, and she hasn't proven to be violent. She hasn't proven to be a flight risk. She consciously objected. That doesn't mean she won't come back for her next court appearance. So you guys listen, we don't stop. We don't stop because we stay together. No matter what, through thick and thin, we stay together for liberty, for freedom, for change. This is wrong what's happening. And so I'm sharing this with you guys, and I want you to do what you would want done for you. So God bless you guys. God bless the United States. And just remember, we don't stop. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.